Hi. How you doing? Now, I've already done this intro, right now at least twice. That hurt. I've done this intro multiple times now, and I just can't get in the habit of just getting to the point. I've dragged on so many times doing this intro, and it's kind of irritating. So right now, before we get into the main topic of the video, as quickly as I can without dragging on with explanations, I am going to go over a quick update on me, on the channel, and specifically why this video is even happening. I guess I should also address the situation with the comments, so I'll do that as fast as I can, and hopefully I don't drag on and bore myself. First off, me, how am I doing? Well, first off, I'm not dead. I did see a comment, somebody thinking that I was dead. I am not dead, I am perfectly alive. My heart is still beating. I guess this is going to lead into the second thing, this channel. I have not touched the Wild Review since December 25th, 2018, which was Christmas Day of 2018. If you remember, you can easily look back because it's the video series right before this. I did a 25-day video series, a consistent 25-day series from December 1st to December 25th, called 25 Wild Christmas Review Days. It was a mini-series for the Wild Review, where for 25 consecutive days I would upload a video discussing and reviewing a popular Christmas film. You can easily check that series out. So I guess how points 1 and 2 connect with each other is what exactly have I been doing and how come I haven't been putting stuff up? Short answer, I just kind of got a little tired. We kind of have to remember I'm technically an adult now. I enjoyed doing the Wild Review. I enjoyed talking about some stuff. If you've been with me since the beginning, you can tell that over time I did adapt to it. But what really was tiring was the editing. The editing takes a very long time for this. Filming for it does too. Sometimes I'll be sitting here for an hour or an hour and a half, depending on what I'm talking about. But the editing portion, because I'm the only one who's doing everything, it does get tiring. And dealing with that and then college at the same time, especially since college was getting more intense, it was not a good balance for me, so one of them had to go, and I had to... I mean, I felt it was a good time to stop it as well. It was at a good point in the series, you know, I felt like I had done enough with it, so that's the main reason why I stopped. So with that all said, let's go to point 3 really quick. What about, why are you seeing this now? Is this an update video? Well, no, I do have a discussion and a little review I'd like to talk over with everybody watching this. But more importantly, I'm doing this for 2 reasons. One of which is because of what day it is. Now, I'm filming this on a Saturday, but this is going up on a Wednesday, April 1st. And I think if you're a fun person, you know what April 1st is. Something I like doing for April Fool's Day every year is not necessarily doing pranks, but doing something that nobody would expect. I have done April Fool's videos for the Wild Review in the past. I believe I've done 2 of them. I did a cooking video, and then I did a video where my brother stepped in to review a series that he liked. This year, the unexpected April Fool's gag that I decided to do is bring back the Wild Review for a one-off special video. Just for a little surprise, just to say hi and also talk about something that I thought about, speaking about. I guess you can consider it a one-off special, maybe even a reunion special, but here's the main thing. Do not expect this to be the start of a brand new Wild Review series, because that may not happen. This is probably a one-time thing. If I enjoy doing it and I feel like talking to a camera again and putting it on this channel, maybe I will continue doing the Wild Review. Who really knows? Just kind of don't get your hopes up with that. You know, just enjoy what you're going to be watching. This is possibly the last video you will see from me forever or for a while. Who really knows? The fourth and final thing I want to just quickly go over before we get into the actual video is the comment section. If you've noticed, I've shut it off. In fact, if you go through my whole video catalog, it's all shut off. This is something that I had to do on purpose, and it's not because I was getting bullied. I am an adult. I don't have any bullies. Instead, it's actually complying to the whole COPPA situation that happened back towards the end of last year. Now, I am the last person you need to hear anything COPPA related from. If you go on YouTube and you do type in stuff about COPPA, you could look up what it is. You could watch some videos of people talking about what it is and why it was kind of a problem for the YouTube community. It's not a big problem right now. I think the world is dealing with a bigger problem at the moment, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to escape from what's happening in the world right now. So bottom line, the reason why comments had to be shut off is because I labeled my channel to be a channel for children, which is not necessarily false, despite the fact that I am a 20-year-old man talking about children's television and just things that I like talking about. I do try to keep my content very clean. I don't try to talk about like adult stuff. There's no sexual references to it. I don't swear in it that much, and even when I do swear, they aren't that horrible of words like you would hear on, like, I don't know, MTV. Is that accurate? Jersey Shore. Let's put it that way. This is not a Jersey Shore. This is a Wild review. Unfortunately, deactivation of the comments was one of those things that was taken away from me once I labeled the channel to be for children. So that's the unfortunate thing. So you will not be able to communicate with me over comments anymore. So that's unfortunate. But you know what? Sometimes we gotta risk some things. Alright, hopefully that didn't go on that long. Hey, let's get into the video now. I'm the Wild Reviewer, and today I'm going to review a thing. Wow, that I got it right. This was the second time I did that, and I got it right. I didn't get it right the first time. It's been a while since I've done it. My voice is already starting to go. That ain't a good thing. So welcome back to the Wild Review. Once again, a one-off April Fool's Day special. Hopefully everybody's doing good. How you doing? Let me know how you're... Oh, you can't do that anymore. Hang on a second. Let's go back to a few seconds ago. Did you just hear me say that was the second time that I had done my intro for this April Fool's Day special? Yes, it was, little boy / girl watching this video, or human. Why am I addressing you as if you're a child? I guess another slight little intro I should mention before actually going into the discussion here is that this is my second attempt doing this video, and I'm going to do something very different from the first video that I did. I contemplated for a while, at least for like 2 months, trying to figure out what I was going to talk about for this one-off video. That's how far in advance I planned this. The question was, you know, what am I going to talk about? What's relevant that I could talk about? And something that I did want to talk about, just because I thought it would have made a very fascinating topic for a video, is discussing the transition from Cartoon Network from 2010 to Cartoon Network now. Coming up this month, in the month of April, Adventure Time will have turned 10 years old. Now, why is that a big deal? Well, not only is it just because Adventure Time is a very fantastic show, and it's loved by a lot of people, and I am one of those people that really likes it, but also because if you're a Cartoon Network fanboy, like I am, like I still am, you would have known that Adventure Time was what kicked off a whole new line of Cartoon Network shows that basically changed the whole network, this being known as the Cartoon Network Renaissance. When I first started doing the Wild Review, one of my earliest videos actually touched upon talking about the Renaissance. I don't think at the time I referenced it as the Renaissance. I could be wrong. That was about 4 to 5 years ago, so don't count me on that. You can check that video out in the description below. I'll put a link to it. But I ended up reviewing and talking about Adventure Time, regular show, Clarence, The Amazing World of Gumball, Uncle Grandpa, and Steven Universe. The 6 main shows that helped kick off Cartoon Network, bringing it back to life after being kind of dead for a while. Because before that, Cartoon Network had some good shows, like it had Flapjack and Chowder, which were really big hits. You also had some really weird shows that Cartoon Network aired for some reason. Like there were a lot of Canadian-produced shows that were brought to the network. Like you had Total Drama, but that was a pretty big hit. But they also had some one-off cartoons that just kind of felt out of place a little. They had Johnny Test going on, but you know, that was Johnny Test. They also had CN Real, which is their attempt of making live-action shows on the network, which didn't sit well with anybody, I think. But when Adventure Time aired, it completely changed the ballgame for the network. And Cartoon Network basically had a new breath of fresh air given to them as we entered a new era and discovered all these fantastic new programs that were on the network. Something, though, that I found very interesting was that the 6 main shows that I had talked about in that one video that helped reboot the network, essentially, aside from Steven Universe Future, which hadn't... Why is this chair making a lot of noise? At the time of making that video, specifically earlier in the week, Steven Universe Future hadn't ended yet. Steven Universe Future, which was the epilogue of Steven Universe, that aired last night. I'm filming this on a Saturday, and the finale just aired last night. So I got to witness the finale. I was going to talk about Cartoon Network now. It's clearly with all those shows that have ended, there's a whole new line of cartoons that is now on the network. Like you have Victor and Valentino, you have technically Infinity Train and Summer Camp Island. There is Total Dramarama still on TV and Teen Titans Go. Wikipedia had the list of all the shows currently running on Cartoon Network. Yes, that's right, I did say Wikipedia. I'm an idiot. And I basically went through the whole list and I kind of gave a little summary and review of the series, what I thought of it. The problem was, I wasn't very happy with it. Other than Gumball, which was on the list, Infinity Train, Steven Universe Future, a little of Teen Titans Go, Total Dramarama, Summer Camp Island, did I say Infinity Train? And Apple and Onion. Those were the only shows I really had something to say about. Everything else, I really didn't have anything to say. And I just felt like I kept repeating myself. And even with some of the shows that I just mentioned, like Summer Camp Island, I've seen it, but I haven't seen enough of it. So it was either I was giving a full review on what I thought about the show, or it was me saying, I haven't seen it, and then making a joke. Or me saying, I've seen it, I've only seen a little. Like, those were the only 3 things that I would say after discussing a show. And I just really wasn't happy with the video, so I just decided to scrap it. And trying to figure out what I can talk about, seeing that I still wanted to do this video, I thought really hard and realized that the next time I'll make this video will be after the Steven Universe Future finale. I figure I could talk about that, because Steven Universe, it's just so good. I'll be honest, I almost shed a tear as I was watching the finale last night. I'll be honest, I think I like Change Your Mind a little better, because I think it's such a fitting finale. Like, if they did, I like the movie. I really like the Steven Universe movie. I really like Steven Universe Future, but if they didn't do any of that, I don't think I would have had a problem with Change Your Mind being the final episode. That's probably controversial stuff for me to say because the movie was amazing and the epilogue series was amazing. I think Steven Universe had a great run. I think Rebecca Sugar and the team did a really great job for it. But this brought something up in my head. Steven Universe is technically the last show from the early stage of the Cartoon Network Renaissance to end. Adventure Time had a series finale, Regular Show had a series finale, Clarence, Uncle Grandpa, they did have a series finale, and now Steven Universe had a few season finales. You can technically claim that Change Your Mind, the movie, and The Future, which was the last Steven Universe Future episode, you can just assume all of those are series finale points. If you stop at any one of those points, I guess you would be fine, even though there is more content to it. But, all those shows had well-deserved finales. But the one show that I didn't mention that also helped reboot Cartoon Network was The Amazing World of Gumball. Now, it did have a finale, but it didn't have a well-deserved finale. Where I'm going with this point, moving on with this video, is not only just a review, but also kind of just a discussion that may not even lead to anything. It's just going to be me rambling on, possibly, and not getting an answer to a question, because I don't even have an answer to it. I don't know why this would happen. But it's just kind of a fascinating thing when I think about it, and that is that Steven Universe and Gumball, they are 2 well-rounded shows that did really great things for the network. But their finales and the way they were treated on the network are just completely opposite with each other, and I don't think anybody realizes that. Let's start with Steven Universe since we're already talking about it, since the finale was last night. Now, Steven Universe, once again, really beautifully done, the way the animation was. I love Change Your Mind. Steven Universe Future was a great epilogue. I enjoyed seeing the characters grow up. That's the one thing I really liked about it. I love seeing that Steven was older in the series. Like, they didn't stick with the typical floating timeline of the cartoon. They actually aged him up more. We got to see him grow and mature.
That's character development.
Something that I've noticed that networks really like to do when there's a big event coming up for like one of their shows, specifically with the series finale, is they'll do an all-day marathon of the series. And that's technically what Cartoon Network did. They played not only just the sing-along version of the movie, but they also played every episode of Steven Universe Future. Cartoon Network treated it as a finale. They definitely gave it a well-rounded goodbye from the fans by playing a lot of episodes, by constantly promoting it, making it very clear this is something you are going to want to see. This is kind of surprising for me, and the reason I say that is because when you really look at it, Steven Universe isn't really, in my eyes, it's not treated the same like a lot of the cartoons on Cartoon Network. For the longest time, Steven Universe was treated the same way Adventure Time was treated. In the beginning, it was given so much advertisement, and it was being promoted everywhere, and you saw it on the network. But as the series went on, they slowly started to shadow it. Like, they really didn't play any reruns. If they played reruns, it would either be for a special occasion, or it was just because they would just randomly play episodes. Towards the end of Steven Universe's run, they would play new episodes around like 7 or even 8 at night on like one of the weekday nights, and they would promote it, and then they would just kind of like not show it again unless it needed to be shown again. To kind of give you a better idea, Cartoon Network would play nothing but Teen Titans Go all day. Like that would be the only show they would play, maybe a little of The Amazing World of Gumball, and then just for like 1 hour, they would play the new episodes of Steven Universe, and then that was it. Like, they would promote it, but they wouldn't, like, give it what it really, like, deserved. They wouldn't play any Steven Universe episodes before then, and again, when they would, it would only be for special occasions, like the movie, or even in this case, the Future's finale. So, it's just kind of interesting to look at how, like, the way that Steven Universe was kind of treated in the past, not being played on the network. They really don't play it now on the network. They really, the only things that really play on Cartoon Network now, if you were to turn on the network, is Teen Titans Go, Gumball, Victor and Valentino, Total Dramarama, and then, you know, occasionally Apple and Onion. They recently have this new show, Thundercats Roar, which I've only really seen on the network, only on Saturday mornings. And maybe even a little of Infinity Train reruns, but they don't even play Infinity Train. Majority of the network is nothing but Teen Titans Go and a little of Gumball. So I don't know, that's just something that I kind of found a little fascinating. The fact that you have this one show that had a hand in rebooting this dead network, and when it comes time for the series finale, after all this time of not acknowledging it like you're really supposed to, and, you know, playing episodes with the same respect that you give other shows, you kind of just shrug it off and say, well, here's the new episodes, here's some episodes that came before that, okay, bye. Yeah, that's kind of how I see them treating it. I'm making it sound like they got completely disrespected, but really they didn't, because clearly they cared about the show. Why are you making noise? It would get the promotions. They were promoting the finale every second they could on Cartoon Network. They were playing episodes up to the Future finale, so it definitely gave it some respect, and that's what I like. And I was glad they did that. I was glad they played every episode of Steven Universe Future and the movie right before the ending. I kind of wish they played every episode of Steven leading up to the Future finale, but, you know, you be happy with what you got, I guess. I mean, the finale was really good. You know, it was only 10 minutes long, like the last episode, but they played the last 4 episodes, so really it was about an hour finale, and I liked where they took the story. Again, it was very emotional. At least for me. I'm not ashamed to say that I almost shed a tear. You know, when Steven starts breaking out in tears to Lion, like that's kind of where it got me a little, and I tried to hide it. It was a good ending. It was a good fit. I think the way that they foreshadow things in the series is really great. with the end credits being Steven driving off away from Beach City in the end credits. Little do we know that's actually what's going to happen at the end of the series. I think that's really cool. And yeah, it's something that will be missed. But at least it ended on a high note. Now, with the other side of this whole thing that I wanted to discuss was another show that kind of had the opposite treatment from Steven Universe, and that being Gumball. Now, Gumball, which I believe aired before Steven Universe, that started off a little slow, but, you know, it became a massive hit on Cartoon Network. Like, it's still big. Like, they're still playing reruns of Gumball every day along with Teen Titans Go. But what's interesting is they're treating it like it's one of their best shows on the network, playing it every day. But yet they treated it like crap towards the end of the run. It was made very obvious by the creator and everybody online that Gumball was done with. Gumball is over with. The creator of the show even came out saying that after the 6th season he will not be working on it anymore. And that's hinted that the series was... And that hinted to everyone that, yeah, this series is coming to an end. And then they actually came out and said, yeah, this series is going to end. So, okay, The Amazing World of Gumball's ending. How are they going to end it? Well, there were a few speculations. Obviously, there wasn't a hint that there was going to be a huge story arc within the show, but they were working on something with Rob, and towards the end of season 6, they started hinting that the end is coming, and Banana Joe's mom has this special power where she can see into the future, and she was having trouble seeing into the future at one point because there was no future. Their world was ending, and they were technically going to do the thing where they were breaking the fourth wall, hinting that their series is ending, discovering that they would be in a show. There was also an announcement that they were going to do a TV movie, and that just never happened. The last episode of The Amazing World of Gumball was called The Inquisition. It was 10 minutes long. It wasn't given a marathon beforehand. Cartoon Network didn't even promote it as the final episode of the show. It was treated like any ordinary episode. The episode saw Elmore Jr.'s high school superintendent coming for a visit and deciding to change things up when he notices that things are being a bit too cartoonish. Now, what's really cool about this episode is that the evil superintendent is a live-action human in a cartoon world, and I love seeing stuff like that. I think that makes for great content. But he shows up, and he makes the decision to cut all cartoonish actions altogether and starts transforming the people at Elmore Junior High into live-action people. They show up as cartoon people, like we get to see some of the characters as humans, but what he's hinting at is they're going to turn them into live-action people. And we kind of start to see one of the transformations of one of the characters into a real girl. And it was a really interesting episode, but then it reveals that the evil superintendent, you know, after Gumball and Darwin change everybody back to normal by bringing them back to their original roots, they all discovered that the evil superintendent is Rob, disguised as a real human, and he's trying not to change everybody for the worse, but for the better, because he's trying to save everybody, because he knows their world is going to end. And the episode ends with Rob getting unconscious, waking up hours later, alone in the school, and the school disintegrates, and Rob falls into the void. And that's it. That's where the show ends. It ended on a cliffhanger. That is the last episode of Gumball. And currently, there is no resolution to this. At least out there. I know for a fact the creator has a resolution to this, but according to him, apparently when the episode aired, I don't know word for word on what he said, but he did say that on Twitter, something on how that the way the show ended is not how he intended it to end, which means that somebody higher than him made that decision to end the series like that, or that could be the only reason. I can't think of another reason. What's interesting to think about, and what a lot of people I think are speculating online when all this happened, is that a lot of us are starting to think that maybe the TV movie that we were supposed to get was supposed to be the conclusion for Gumball. Despite the fact on how this episode was supposed to end originally, maybe the movie was supposed to tie things up. I know that's the main thing everybody's thinking now. They're starting to think that if there is a TV movie, it's going to clean up the cliffhanger that we have here, and Jesus Christ, I hope it does. I think the way it ended, despite the fact that it was a cliffhanger and it aggravates me, we're not going to know what happens. I think it could lead to a really interesting story, specifically with Gumball. Like I said, it's not really a story-driven show, but it does have its arcs. It does have, it sticks with continuity. That's one thing that it does really great with. Now, if you can kind of catch on to what I'm discussing here, just from talking about Steven Universe and how that was treated with Cartoon Network, there's kind of a polar opposite with these two series, and both the way on how they've ended and how the network treated the ending, but more to the point how the network treated the show itself. Like I said with Steven Universe, while it was respected in many ways, it's not aired much on Cartoon Network. They don't play reruns during the day or on weekends. Really only when there are special events or new episodes is when they start playing some episodes. But other than that, that's it. I can guarantee that maybe they'll play some Steven Universe future episodes now, but by the end of this year, they may not play any. I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong because they could change things up, but the likelihood of that happening is very slim to me. And then you have Gumball, which is still airing on Cartoon Network. They're playing an episode every day. They're playing multiple episodes every day. You would think that it's the network's best show, and yet the finale was treated like crap. It wasn't advertised to be the finale. Again, there wasn't a marathon leading up to the episode. There wasn't any hint by the network. It was just an utter disappointment, and that sucks. Maybe this is because Cartoon Network doesn't want to end it. Maybe they're like, hey, we really like this show. We want to keep it going, but we don't know where to start yet. So for now, we're just going to end it like this, and we'll see what happens. But, you know, it's just kind of a sucky situation when you look at it. On top of that, the biggest slap in the face is we did end up getting new Gumball content after the finale, but it wasn't even any content that could be canon with the series or continue on with the cliffhanger. It was a 6-episode mini-series about Darwin putting together a yearbook. And the biggest slap in the face is that it didn't even include any new content. It was a clip show. And Gumball wasn't even in it. That is a bright light. That is making my skin very pale. Yeah, so that's what I led into discussing about into this video. That's kind of where this ends right now. Again, I don't have an answer to it, why the network decided to do that, what Cartoon Network's logic is behind it, but that is kind of a little review on those two finales. I guess it's a bit relevant because the Gumball finale was recently, only a few months ago, I think back in September, which is about almost half a year ago, and Steven Universe again just recently ended now. So the last two good shows that started off this renaissance, they have officially ended, and the original run of the renaissance is over. And now it's time for a new era of Cartoon Network to start up, and we're kind of getting that. Because Victor and Valentino, that show's pretty cool. Summer Camp Island is really cute. Hopefully Infinity Train gets a season 3, because that show's really awesome. And, you know, if they get rid of the garbage stuff, and focus on more newer things, hopefully we got a good network going again. That's not to say the network's not already good, but you know, it's got some good and bad. Apple and Onion's pretty good. It's funny. It's a little weird to watch, but it does get me to laugh. That new show, Thundercats Roar. I don't know much of Thundercats. I haven't seen the new show, but I don't know the franchise at all. But just from the promos I've seen, I don't think that's Thundercats. I'm sorry if maybe this was a bit of a bore. I'm sorry if I really didn't make much sense. I did give you a little review. I think both the finales were really good. I'm going to miss Steven Universe. It was a great show. Gumball is very funny. It's creative. I'm hoping we get a movie. I'd like to see a movie. I'd like to see some sort of conclusion. And with that said, that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Again, apologies if you got bored or I made you angry for some reason. I hope I didn't. That's it from me. That's also possibly the end of this channel. Again, I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this from now on. Maybe you'll see me again on the Wild Review. Maybe you won't. Who really knows? The future is a mystery at the moment. So that's it for this video. I would say, let me know what you think about this topic in the comments below, but that's not an option anymore. So you know what? Just keep your comments to yourself, and hopefully you enjoyed what you've seen. Thanks for watching The Wild Review. I'm The Wild Reviewer, and you just saw me review a thing. I said the outro, like the old days.